Alright, this video was actually supposed to be about my trials and tribulations with staffing and all this other stuff, and then I realized in order to get to staffing that you have to kind of talk about the pre-stage before you get to staffing. And boy oh boy do I have a pre-stage. I mean, I tried to do everything by myself. I still try to do everything by myself. Don't be like me, don't do everything by yourself. But if you're going to do everything by yourself, listen to me. Whoa. Let's talk some shop from the shop. Today we're talking staffing. I know you're like,
Lee, what do you know about staffing? You never have any staff around.
and that is true because I am a do-it-yourself sort of guy and only hire staff when I need to, which I'm trying to change.
Hello, Party Rentals.
But we all need staff at some point or another, and reliable staff at that. So staffing is so important. Now let's face it, at the start, you're broke, you can't afford staff, you need inventory, you need all this stuff. So what do? You do everything. Okay, so you're in step one. It's the starter business. You're the employee, you're training yourself, you're doing all the work involved, you're wearing all the hats in your business, more than this one. This is okay in the beginning because you don't have to waste your money on labor. You need all of that extra money so that you can buy more inventory. The more inventory you buy, the more money you make. The more inventory you buy, and then the more things that you can rent out. And if people are picking those things up from you, well then, you can focus your time and money on more inventory. And then it starts stockpiling, You get what I'm saying, I know what you're asking. You're asking what items are those secret pickup items. Well, they're not really a secret, but it's pop-up tents, it's tables and chairs. Get what I'm saying? This way you can focus on the next step, which is as many items as you can that you can set up by yourself so that you only utilize yourself for labor. That's step two. So you're getting some money and you need to put that money into items that you can set up by yourself. So customers are coming picking things up from you, things like, pop-up tents and tables and chairs. You want to focus your money into items that you can set up by yourself. It might be hard, so you have to be strong like ox. But, something that you can set up yourselves. For me, in the first year, I set up many 10 by 10 and 10 by 20 pop-up tents by themselves. And then I got into some pole tents. So pole tents, you can set them up by yourself. 20 by 20 pole tent, 20 by 30 pole tent, 20 by 40 pole tent. I'll link a video right there, me setting up a 20 by 40 pole tent all by myself, just to show that you can do it. And here I am setting up alone. So you can really stretch the stage of this business for a long time, and you can implement online bookings to cut down your paperwork time. So, you're working by yourself, you're doing the labor, you're doing the paperwork. Get a program. I've got a program right there called Bookable, and it takes online bookings. Even at my stage right now, doing lots of quotes. People want to talk on the phone, but there's lots of people who just place their bookings online. And not just small bookings, tent bookings, tables and chair bookings. If you have things set up online, you can just make it crispy clean and cut that labor cost, because you're going to need those extra dollars to be put into more inventory. Again, I say it's always the thing. The more inventory you get, the more you can compound how much money is going to come, because multiple things can go out on certain dates. There's prime dates in the summer. Everyone wants the same thing, and all the companies will be out, so you'll be able to maximize the profitability on those dates. But as long as you keep stacking your inventory, start small, keep growing, just always buy more inventory, always search out those deals. If you offer setup, they will come. Just make sure and offer setup. And then there are people who are like, yeah, that sounds good. I don't want to do that kind of stuff, and I don't want to make my parents do that stuff on my wedding day. And then there's the reverse, right? So if you cater to one, cater to the other as well. And then you could have that inventory for the customer pickups that's making money. They're doing the labor. You're doing the labor for this, but getting paid substantially for it. And then you're taking in all of the money from both those sides, and you're not paying anyone. And it's free for you because you're doing all the labor, and then you're investing it into more inventory. And then you're going to eventually get to a spot where you have so much darn inventory that you can start doing these other things. You can start hiring staff. You can start buying more vehicles. And, you just rough it out for that first little period. And then after a while, it's just like, bam, the power. You have the power. All right, you're starting to get bigger and things are getting exciting. So you need some tips, because when you get bigger, you get to the next status, and then you got to readjust the way that you work. I mean, you could still do pickups and setups and stuff, but you have to charge even more, right? Because now you've got guys, and that delivery and setup, it can't be as cheap anymore. There's gas, there's labor, there's hours. So you have to really think about things when you're quoting them, right? So now you can get into bigger pole tents and marquee tents because you can afford to add the labor to that stuff, and you can afford to buy that stuff. But when you're quoting these items that are only for setup by your team, you have to charge accordingly. I mean, the client's going to pay the price for the staffing. You have to make sure realistically quote the big ones, or you're going to end up screwing yourself. Make sure you charge for mileage. Make sure that you charge for every loaded trip that your team's going to make. Think about the number of hours that the setup will take and how many team members will be needed, how much stuff fits inside one trip. In the midst of all this, there's going to be customers that just want the tent. Only book these ones if you're hurting for business, because the more often than not, you will have more than enough bookings on every prime date. So make sure that those bookings are the full ones, the ones that have the tents, the tables, the chairs, the lights, all the setups. The heaters, all the extras. There's nothing worse than booking out a big empty tent with a customer. They borrow all the tables. They borrow all the tables and chairs from their local church or something along that. And you only make the money for the tent and the walls. And then when you're booking it, you're like, oh yeah, I booked a tent. But then when summertime comes and it's that actual weekend, you're going to be sitting there scratching your head wondering why all of your chairs aren't out. All those extras aren't out. It's because someone with another tent booking wanted tables and chairs and tents, and they looked at you for your website or whatever, and all that stuff wasn't available because someone just nabbed up the tent. And they're like, oh, well, there's only chairs available for that day, and I want the tent, I want that, and I want the whole shebang. And you wasted the good booking on that other person. Don't waste the good booking. All right, before I let you go, I want to go number 4. Step 4 is make sure that your quotes are fast and banging. You need to have a banging quote that's going to wow them. So make sure that you're always taking videos of your tent setup so that you can make a YouTube video that can be referenced when you're quoting someone. You just put the link in there and then have pre-made templates so that you can be fast. Because there's going to be lots of call after call after call after call, and you don't want to spend hours and hours on tent quotes when you can bang out quality product just by having groomed templates. So groom your templates, make sure that you're fast, on point with your templates, your CADs, whatever. And then if people do reach out to you and they're like, hey, I want something more customized, and they show that they're a little serious, then you can spend a lot of time on their quote if it's for the dinero. If you like this video, you might consider subscribing, because I do content like this all the time, and I'm here to help you through the trials and tribulations that I've gone through to build my rental company. Thanks for having a piece of my mind today, and as always, you stay classy. We'll see you on the next one. This is how you book ceremony seating. Anyways, they want ceremony seating in a circle for 120 people, so I'm gonna make them an image.